All right, let's get it started here. Welcome back, everyone. It has been a while since I've done this. I believe it was like 2, 3, maybe even a month ago at this point. Last when I streamed one of these. But we are here for this game's. I believe this is both these teams' 10th game here tonight as Tanuki Tapire takes on Midori. As I swap over here to the FaceIt client, I will briefly talk about the standings here for both of them at the moment here. Midori sitting in a really good spot here. Coming into this game, 6-3 in that 4-6 range. On the other side of this one, Tanuki Tapire sitting 5-4. If you want to start looking at it maybe a little bit in depth here, this is a much more important game for Tanuki coming into it. Midori, though, really good. Me and Hunter have covered this team a couple times. Have always been impressed with them so far, and honestly, they are looking like a team right now that is very difficult to beat. Now, YAB coming into this one, sitting top of it right now, 8-2. I was wondering who that was because that was a brand new team to me. That is actually Regen. They rebranded here as YAB. I think earlier today. I don't remember them being YAB yesterday when I was going through some stuff and I was talking with Hunter about what games we wanted to cover this week. But heading into it here, this game about to get underway here, and we're going to get maps, we're going to get everything coming up here in a brief moment here. So in NA, it's always kind of been going towards Oasis for first map. That's kind of what I expect to see here between these two teams, and it's what I really expect to see. Like I said, see here, bans have been really interesting. I mean, right now, I feel like are trying to figure out what the kind of go-to is. Actually, wait, Ilios. Oh, this is throwing me a little bit of a curveball. Me and Hunter have been so used to seeing just it be straight Oasis every map. So now this becomes really interesting. Winston is a big proponent here when you talk about tanks. I could see that potentially being a ban. I could see it not being a ban, mostly just because I feel like you're always going to have a safe route going with the tanks. So that is kind of what I'm leaning towards here a little bit coming out of the gate. Why did that change? I'm sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. But bans, I mean, it looks like Midori's going to have first ban out here. And it's going to be Winston. Like I said, that one doesn't necessarily surprise me a lot. Winston finds a lot of value on basically every map. Even Ruins, I would say, maybe his worst map. But I think Winston still does find a decent amount of value on this map. So not surprising ban. If you're going to ask me what the second ban would be, I would always kind of say safe to go with the support. Get maybe Juno out of the way, get maybe Ana out of the way here. But without the Winston, I don't think Ana necessarily finds as much value. So you might be looking at that DPS line here. And I could potentially see it going one of two ways. I really would like to see it probably be something like maybe a hit scan. Cassidy's been really strong, popping back up here now. I'm really happy to see that. Freya kind of falling off, but you still see teams use it because of the high burst damage potential. But it looks like Tanuki's going to actually use up all this time here to really get that ban in. These two teams, yep, there it goes. I'll say what the ban is here in a moment. But these two teams, you know, have the roster limit of 7 on each side, so we could see swap ups here in the lineup. Wouldn't necessarily surprise me if we do at some point. But like I said, coming into the series, Tanuki Tapire, I know I'm saying it wrong. Sorry about that. I feel like it's probably a really easy word. Sitting at 5-4. Midori sitting at 6-3. So if you want to look at it in the way of playoffs down the line, there's still a lot of games to play. Tanuki, this might be a little bit more of an important game. Midori, a win here puts you in a very comfortable spot. And I'll pull up the standings here again. They're currently sitting, in that 4-6 range, but they are 6-3. Tanuki sitting in that 7-8. So both these teams, if playoffs were to start today, I think would be in. So that would be very, very good for both of them. And there's the invite to lobby. Genji. That's honestly not a bad sub. I mean, bad ban. You want to get rid of that backline. You want to maybe potentially leave Tracer wide open, a little bit more counterable there. Genji's been really, really strong lately. But Ilios just itself, Genji finds a lot of value. Again, wall climb is very, very strong. Blade is very hit or miss of an ultimate, but is a lot of time an ultimate that really does zone out a lot of teams. Zone out a lot of other maybe ultimates, maybe even forces out some ultimates from the other side. So while it might not find kills all the time, banning out or you know, Blade might get rid of, a Beat might get rid of both support ultimates. We have seen that a lot. I mean, hell, we saw it earlier today. If you watch me and Hunter cast over South America right now, Genji did show up from time to time, and when it did, Blade would come out and you would see both of those supports. Looks like, though, we're still currently waiting for 1 or 2 members to be getting into the lobby here. Of Tanuki. But this should be a really good game. I mean, this is one that both me and Hunter kind of wrote down looking at it as should be a good game. Both these teams currently sitting in good spots at the moment. So wouldn't necessarily surprise me if this goes the distance here. I mean, a lot of the NA Masters tier right now has been really fun to watch because of how good and how competitive these two, all the teams have been here. But let's get going here now. Cool. Why is it not capturing? There it goes. And I just need to swap these. Yep, there we are. So we'll be starting off on Ruins. Basically, this is the hit scan map of the one, but you will still see hit scans show up everywhere else here. Tanuki starting off here with the Orisa, kind of been a pretty normal ban or pretty normal pick here. More recently, on the other side, you have Midori with the Hazard. I don't necessarily hate the pick, but into the Orisa, you kind of have to be playing very, very smart with it. You see both Zach and Hakendo over here on Symmetra, going to be probably just using it as a TP out, then swapping over to something like a Tracer because Genji is banned here. So, as we swap over here right now, I mean, I think Tanuki's in a little bit of a better spot here, just being able to maybe put a little bit more pressure on to the entirety of the team with that Orisa. Hero, though, a lot of it comes down to right there, but you already see Hero getting very, very low and pressured back out here by Squeak. Hero doing a good job of falling back, keeping himself alive and kicking here. But, I mean, you already see Tanuki here, just kind of getting set up on point. Squeak, though, starting to get taken very low here by Zach, who's just doing so much right now. Already in that backline. This is what I always fear with the Tracers. I feel like a lot of teams fear with it as well. Tracer just being able to do so much, but eventually they will fall. And I mean, down their tank right now, I think it's gonna have to be Tanuki just backing up, but Spingar just doing a lot right now, keeping their team alive in this one. I did talk about coming into the series that maybe potentially the Freya would not be getting seen here a lot. Cassie could be the one, but right now Spingar showing up a lot and might even get their team the first cap here, but still going back and forth. Hero trying to do enough, but that burst damage coming out just gonna force them back as Tanuki will take our first cap here. Now, I mean, right now, Triplet actually got the first kill there for Midori in that last engagement, or in the first engagement. And, I mean, even though they did find it on to Squeak, they weren't really able to follow up on it. Pulse Bow already coming out there from Hyken. And, I mean, already so much. Squeak, though, getting rid of Hero. And if you are Midori, that is probably your sign just to back out of it here. But, I mean, you can see a lot of them are in spots where you really can't back out. Spingar, again, someone who has absolutely been on fire here for Tanuki starting off is exactly who you kind of want to see on fire, just doing so much here. But right now, teams are finally going to have a brief moment set up. What a shot right there, making sure they find Zach, force out that recall, have him fall back. But right now, I mean, you're seeing these teams coming up to ultimates. I mean, Hyken the only one to use one so far with that pulse bomb, not finding anyone. But I mean, just the pressure from that pulse bomb is enough. Zach being able to win out on the other side here, as you see Midori trying to get one in here. Beat coming out to kind of counter out the bolo shot coming out from Spingar, and they will be able to find Seaborn, but that might be the only thing that get this one. Virtual gonna be able to find Cave. Zach, though, falls. Triplet falls as well. Back and forth. Midori does have the numbers advantage, but now the Consumer Rush out from the other side, and Hero just kind of getting bullied out right there. Gonna have to just dive out of that one. Recognizing that fight is pretty much lost. I can't find them out there, and Tanuki, I mean, a strong start for them here. I'm really wondering what Midori has to do. I just don't necessarily know if this Hazard is the thing that will necessarily win you a lot of fights, especially going up against Squeaks or Orisa here, especially how they started off. I mean, Midori just looking for anything. Hyken gets rid of Cave, and I mean, you see it right there. Just the Javelin itself does so much. Seaborn going to be able to find one, but will it keep them alive in this fight long enough. They're trying to do everything they can, getting back over to Hero to keep him alive and kicking here as they try to get a point flip. But, I mean, Hero going to be able to find Spingar. Virtual will take care of Seaborn. Now you're down, you're healing. Here you do have Triplet coming back on the Lucio for Midori. Finding actually Virtual out right there. Squeak going to be able to get rid of a Lucio, and that just might do it here for this first point. It looks like Tanuki going to be getting off to a strong start right there. As, like I said, I just don't think the hazard was necessarily much for that Orisa on the other side. I mean, we'll look at the stats here, and I mean, other than Squeak dying there at the end, they did an incredible job just keeping space. Virtual most elims so far in the lobby with 10. I mean, you saw it there a lot. They were really cleaning up a lot of these engagements. On the other side for Midori, I mean, you're trying to figure out what is necessarily, what you have to do here. I don't think the hazard is necessarily working out for them like they really are expecting them to. But it still does have its value, especially on a map, or especially on a point like Lighthouse here, where you are really looking at going from high ground to high ground really fast. And you see Squeak, they recognize that. They're going over to the, or no, this is actually going over to the Wrecking Ball instead. So you could definitely be seeing some, you know, trying to bowl some people into the well here. Hero, though, I think he'll have a little bit of a better time this time around on the hazard here. But, ooh, Squeak almost getting pooped off the map. Nice play there by Triplet, but Squeak barely able to keep themselves up there. But that fight for the high ground is definitely the thing right now. Already the Suzu invested out there early from Virtual, but Hyken gonna be able to find Zach out, and I mean, Hero will trade out Hex. That does give them a slight advantage here, but it looks like, again, it might be Tanuki just capping point here first. Cave, though, gonna be able to get rid of Spingar, who, I mean, I talked about how good Spingar was doing at the start of last point, where they were finding so much value early on, and especially on the Freya, where I just didn't expect to really see them that much throughout the night. Well, the two have been playing Freya almost exclusively. I feel like at some point we're going to see that swap up here, but finally, it looks like Midori getting some pressure here on the point. A late contest coming out here. Midori, I mean, if you get rid of Squeak, though, they're just going to send themselves down into that hole on their own, but they're still putting up a hell of a fight here, or hell of a contest here right now. I mean, this is one of the most stallable points in the game. The Pulse Bomb coming out there from Hyken, not going to be able to find anyone, and Midori finally is able to take control of the point right there. And I mean, the Pulse Bombs early on from each side, not been that impressive, but again, Pulse Bomb is a very hard ultimate to really find a lot of value with. And now, if you're Midori, you look at the ultimate economy you have, you're about to have Downpour. I mean, you've done a good job, even though Tanuki has this slight advantage here early on. You're in a good spot to really take a fight here, not even really having to invest that many ultimates. Hero just trying to get on that high ground, has to deal with Squeak, though. Virtual gonna pop off with the Kitsune Rush, and already trades going back and forth. The Downpour out looks like it's mostly going in the well, but Tanuki, oh, Virtual keeping themselves alive right there. Bolo shot coming out from Cave, not gonna be able to find anyone, but Hyken looks like they might have just blinked themselves off into the well right there. An unfortunate play by them, but I mean, you remember that ult economy that I talked about there for Midori. I mean, that is all gone now. It's gone. Other than Triplet's beat here, I mean, Midori has kind of gone through everything, and now Tanuki in a good spot, honestly, with their ultimate economy, about to come up to that beat, which Hex is using right here. Beat now coming out from Triplet, does hit off that jagged wall, but gonna be able to get out. Now Minefield coming out from Squeak, and that might just be enough here to really force Midori off the point for a brief moment. They get about 60% capped right there. We're not going to be able to do much. Triplet sends Squeak into the well. Hecken here just trying to get rid of Cave. Not going to be able to find it. And Tanuki, I mean, with Virtual kind of signaling the end of the fight right there, the rest are going to fall back and regroup. I mean, a great bounce back here from Midori, honestly, from that first point where it seemed like Tanuki had almost all the answers. But right now, I mean, they really don't have that many ultimates coming up. They will have their DPS ultimates, but the same thing could be said for Tanuki. Only having the Pulse Bomb, they really need to build something up here if they're even going to be able to get a touch. I mean, you see him here, Squeak on that Wrecking Ball, going to be able to find the touch right here, but what's going to be the follow-up? Hero, though, going to be able to shut down Hyken, which had one of those ultimates on the other side, or the only ultimate on the other side. Bolo out from Cave, not going to be able to find anyone, but as they deal with Spingar on the other side, Zach can be able to clean them up. And right now, if you're Midori, you're just trying to clean up this entire fight because you're going to be sending us to Lighthouse. And honestly, with how you've been playing this point, the hazard going to be finding so much value on Lighthouse. It's going to be interesting to see what Squeak does here. I could see him going back over to the Orisa. Bunkering down is certainly a strategy that does find a lot of value there on Lighthouse. But look at the stats after that one there. I mean, big improvement from everyone there on the side of Midori. I mean, Hero and Cabe, I mean, they did pretty good that first round, but this round, the second round, I mean, they just boosted themselves up. Triplet also in that double-digit kills. Seaborn, the only one not there, but then on Kiri, you see all the assists, doing a pretty good job. I mean, even Triplet, who's been playing the Lucio the entire time, kind of starting to slowly space themselves out here from Hex with damage and healing. But Lighthouse back out here, yeah, Squeak looking like they're just going to go back over, try to get on to the kind of bunker comp, like I said, and it's going to be interesting to see what Midori is going to do here. But if Tanuki's going to take out this side angle here and try to play from the far side of point, it's going to actually kind of go towards Midori right now. Hero, oh, that would have been a devastating javelin if Squeak was able to land it here. But right now, Tanuki, I mean, they're just beating out Midori right now. It seems like they just want to try to keep him on the high ground. Seaborn, though, finding out Virtual. And now here's the cleanup. Yeah, it's going to be Tanuki capping point here first. But at some point, much like last point, they're going to have to give it up. Squeak fortifying themselves up here, but that's only delaying the inevitable as Hero find them there. Both Hyken and Hex are around to stall at this point as long as they can, but now it is all up to Hyken, who Hero takes care of them. 17% there for Tanuki, and they're going to need to probably make a swap here to something else. I don't necessarily know if the Orisa is going to be the right way to go for them here at this point. With Hero now having this kind of control of the high ground, going to be able to get back up there pretty easily. I mean, Hyken is always going to be one that you have to kind of watch out for, just trying to get back to point, try to drag some members of Tanuki there. But I mean, right now, Midori just in a spot where it's very hard for anyone on the side of Tanuki to get with. Spinguard actually swapping over to the cast. Happy to see that swap, but it's not necessarily going to do much this fight. Hyken, though, they're one who is just showing off right now. 2 kills, looking for the third, but not going to be able to find it as Cabe and Hero. The highlights right now for this Midori team, just cleaning up that fight with a team kill. And now, though, I mean, Squeak going back over to the Wrecking Ball. I don't know if this is the right move, but they just need some sort of spark. Spingar off of the cast as well, going over to the Ashe instead. I kind of like this a little bit better. The Dynamite will do enough, and Bob does kind of become its like a stall point here, but losing the hike end early as Zach finds them out. That's who you want to see starting popping off here right now. If you are this Midori squad, you'll be using some nice tech right there to get up onto that high ground. Spingar gonna follow the cave, and I just don't necessarily know if Spingar is going to do much here anymore. Cave's getting set up. Spingar's not finding the value. There's the bolo shot. Not going to be able to land on a Hex as they're just running for their life here. There's that other shot. Not going to be able to take them out, but you're in final fight territory, and you have a beat and a Kitsune while you look at what Midori has, and they have almost everything here outside of the bolo, but they're in a really good spot. Virtual finding Zach, though, is huge. The downpour coming out from Hero could try to stall out some members of Tanuki from getting back here. Already getting rid of that of the recall right there. Kitsune Rush out from Virtual early, as you do just see Tanuki trying to find anything. Nice boop off right there, but Triplet going to be able to keep himself alive. There's the beat out, but Hex is going to get caught in that downpour. The Suits are going to be able to keep them alive, but only for a brief moment right there, as we're already kind of looking at the same situation we saw last point. This is a clean up crew moment right now for Midori, as I mean, a great bounce back from point 1 to really dominantly win points 2 and 3 to give Midori the first map of the night. I mean, it just seemed like the Orisa really worked out on that first point for Tanuki, but after that, Orisa, unless you're going to truly commit to a bunker on Lighthouse, just kind of lost all of its value, and you saw Tanuki really try to figure something out with just trying Wrecking Ball, and it didn't end up working out for them, and that's the bad thing. It really did. So let's take a look here at the stats from that first map. I mean, I talked about Spingar absolutely popping off on that first point, but after that, fell apart, really. 9 eliminations, 11 deaths. I mean, they were doing a lot, and when they kind of fell off, it kind of took the rest of the team down with them. Squeak also had an incredible first point, but after that, I mean, going to Wrecking Ball, going back to Orisa, then back to Ball, just did not seem to favor them. But you look at the DPS line there for Midori. Zach and Cabe combining for 53 eliminations. That support line as well combining for 50 assists. I mean, they did everything you could ask for and more. And like I said, at a point, Triplet and the Lucio there for Tanuki, they were starting to really pull away from each other. Triplet was starting to pull away with just healing, and you see the main difference there. I believe William here, 5,900 healing, 9,200 healing. I know you don't really expect a lot of healing out of a Lucio, but man, did you get a lot of healing out of your Lucio there if you are, if you were Midori. Now, I mean, Midori up 1-0 in this series, and that's what you really want to see here for them. Let me just update this real quick. And, I mean, so Watch Point going to be our second map of the night. Again, you kind of think dive when you see this one. And that's just kind of brings back the Winston ban last map. Winston definitely could be something we see here. Diva could be something we see here. Tanuki did show us that, hey, they like playing Wrecking Ball, so that is an option for them right now. But I don't necessarily know if Wrecking Ball is the right choice for a Watch Point. But again, while we kind of wait here for the rosters to be finalized, let's just go back to the stats. I mean, you just look at the main differences right here, especially at the tank. I mean, there was a gap, especially on points 2 and 3. Yeah, Squeak did a little bit better on point 3, but I mean, it was just Hero kind of pulling away there. I mean, you see it right there. 10,000 damage, almost 11,000 to 7,200. A big, big difference. And, I mean, lobby is up, so let's see what our second ban is for this map. It's going to be Freya. Now, that's coming out from Midori. And you have to remember, I mean, Spingar did start off really, really good, but I really don't necessarily think that Freya is as strong as she was in the past. I mean, like I said, you started to see Cass. We did see Spingar go to Cass, then to Ashe. It didn't really work out for them. I just think they're in a point where it was just a struggle for them there. Wrong scoreboard.
Ready for battle.
Oh. There we go. Let me update this real quick, and then I will get us over to the action. All right. So again, we know this map is a dive map through and through, and you're seeing the two kind of different oppositions of dive here. Midori wanted to play the Diva, especially on offense. I feel like it finds a little bit more value, but again, at points, I think Winston's just the better choice all the way through, and that is what Tanuki is going to be coming out with here. And, I mean, if there's one person you really want to see step up, you really want to see Squeak step up, and this might be the opportunity. I mean, you're going to be able to get damage through to Hero consistently here, and you're probably should be able to force Hero off of this Diva if you do play it good enough here. I mean, you see Hex just trying to always keep an eye on if there's going to be an attack from the high ground, but already you see Squeak falling down to that low ground, going to be able to get back up to safety here of their supports. And I mean, you really need to see something else here, like I said, from Squeak. But right now, you are just seeing the normal kind of play here. I mean, defensive team will allow this card to kind of push down. Hero almost getting DMAC'd right there. Squeak actually falling down there. Help them out a lot. Spingar, again, one of those other players I really think you need to see step up. They did a great job first point on Ilios there. Really helped their team out. And when Spingar is hot, the rest of this Tanuki team is really hot as well. But right now, you see Hero here just getting ready for this high ground attack. Squeak finding Zach out. Cave, though, going to trade it out there, so no traces for either side as you just see the teams go at it on the high ground, playing for any kind of space they can. But right now, like I said, I just don't know how, like, if this Diva pick is really going to work out for them. Squeak's going to be able to get so much consistent damage, but they're going to be able to just traverse the high ground just like that, actually forcing off the supports there. Spin guard getting low, and Hero almost noticing that they're not going to be able to find them, but they have done the job they were really looking for there, forcing that support line off the high ground. Now the Amp Matrix coming out here from Seaborn on this high ground. Hero though put to sleep, going to be forcing out that immortality field. You will fight Hyken, and right now, if you're Midori, you are looking at this as your golden opportunity. Deadeye coming out here from Cave, looking for anyone that they can, but it's going to be used as a zoning tool here, and I love this kind of play. Does split up the members of Tanuki out. You find Squeak. Spingar, though, again, if they are hot, they are keeping the team in these fights, but the cart now just being contested out here by Hex and Hyken. Hex will fall, Virtual fall as Hyken falls as well. This should be Midori getting this first point, and they're getting it really, really fast as well. 4.5 minutes on that time bank for them here. But each team, I mean, you did see Midori pretty much heavily invest into that first fight, but they built up ultimates incredibly fast. I don't blame him for investing it. You got the first point, large time bang, and I mean, you look at Virtual, who has that pulse bomb. Oh, the nice spin there by Cave. The Seaborn, though, also investing the immortality field to keep them alive, but nice roll there by Cave to make sure that pulse bomb doesn't find as much value as it could be. Rally, though, out here from Triplet to keep everyone alive and kicking up in this side room, and right now, you can really tell that Midori wants to take a fighter. Hero gonna be put to sleep, but Spingar just awakening them there at the wrong moment. Hyken, though, going to be able to find one in that backline, but still, Hyken so far in that backline, it's not necessarily going to be much more other than finding that one here. Hero doing what they can. Overclock coming out here from Spingar. If they can find one, it'll be valuable for them. Squeak, though, popping that Primal Rage, going to be able to find one out there. Looking for a second one there on to Cave. Not going to be able to do it as they roll out, but, I mean, right now, if you're Tanuki, you're happy with this fight. Hex might be a little bit too far forward here as they get some support here from Squeak. Bomb actually coming out there from Hero to keep themselves in mech, but I mean, it's going to work out right now if you're Tanuki. That time bank already down 1.5 minutes here, and I mean, Midori finally getting started pushing the cart. Rally out here now from Hex, trying to get rid of Cave, who's been doing pretty good. Seaborn, though, popping the Amp Mage right here. Cave, again, someone who's just been on fire here for Midori, but Hyken, when they're doing good, man, they are doing good here, and they're going to stagger out Hero the right play. And Hyken just going to make this as painful as they possibly can. Virtual will send them back to spawn, and if you're Tanuki, you are very, very happy with this. You're finally able to take a little bit of a breath, and it looks like you're finally going to be able to send Cave back to the spawn on a huge stagger. All right. I mean, if you're coming in this next engagement for Midori, you do have both your support DPS ultimates. And, I mean, you're not that far away from a rally. The only thing you're truly going to have here if you're Tanuki is going to be this Primal Rage from Squeak, but you're going to really need to build that up quickly. Hero just trying to force cart, like that play from them. They want to try just to get that out here. Force back Squeak. Looks like it's going to be able to do that for the moment, but they still have to deal with the members of Tanuki on that high ground. Hyken, again, getting rid of their counterpart on the other side, and look at what that does here to the members of Midori. Just a fallback, and this round is going great right now for Tanuki after giving up that first point. Second point, very hard to push through here, and Midori has to figure out something here soon, but they are coming up to a couple ultimates. I mean, if you're Midori, you still have both your DPS ultimates. You have Rally, but outside of that, you really need something else. That first fight, or that last fight did take a while here, but Squeak does have that get out of jail free card with the Primal Rage here, so they could play as aggressively as they want. Not that far away from a Nano as well, which could add more to this pressure, but they're playing safe, and eventually you do see Hero get up on that high ground while Squeak doing what they want down here. Rally coming out from Triplet. Now the Deadeye out as well. It looks like they want this Winston dead here. The Deadeye looking for anyone they can at the moment, but they're just going to have to let that fade away. Nano now invested here onto Squeak as they look for anything, but Squeak mostly going to have to use that Nano just to keep themselves alive here. Nice anti out there from Virtual. Squeak cleaning up that back line. Zach will find one. That's going to be the only thing that Midori gets this engagement. And, I mean, 46 seconds left on the time bank for them. They are coming up to that bomb and the Amp Matrix. But, I mean, same thing could be said here for Tanuki, as they're going to have the overclock and their own rally. So they're both in good spots here. You're just really looking for an opening pick here if you're Midori, where, I mean, that first point, you found opening picks. And the biggest thing is you can't get just this Tanuki support line off the high ground. That's been the one thing that really helped them out on the first point, was just getting them off that high ground. You're just looking for anything now. Sleep being put out there, the whip not going to be able to knock Hero off of the high ground. So right now, honestly, you might just be trying to get that bomb off. But Seaborn actually finding out Squeak. That is huge. Now the Amp Matrix is going to be free for them. Already coming out right there, but everyone for Tanuki just playing around corners here. Virtual stuck on that high ground, tries to get the Sleep out there, not going to be able to find it, but going to be able to get down to safety there. Rally now out here from Hex, looking to get rid of Hero. They're going to be able to do that, but the bomb actually being thrown up into the air. Squeak, though, finds Hero out, and that is the worst thing you want to see if you were Midori. Deadeye out here from Cabe, looking for anyone they can. Almost gets one there. They will be able to find Spingar, but right now, Hyken just doing what they can on this Tracer to do anything. They're going to be able to find their counterpart, and now it's all up to Cabe. Cabe, though, will eventually be taken down by Virtual. Tanuki, I mean, a really good defense here once they got on a second point. Midori, though, still able to push it pretty far, giving them a good chance to win this map, even if Tanuki gets that first point.
Switching sides.
Stats, though, up here right now, and I mean, even though Tanuki, I mean, Midori got a pretty far push here, I mean, you can see the main difference in just stats. Deaths is always one thing I look at. Triplet and Zac, I mean, they were always kind of going to punish out there, and Zac on that Tracer, you saw there a lot. They were either one of the first or second ones picked, and a lot of the times you see with these teams, when they lose their Tracer, they kind of just back out, because that's all that backline pressure gone in a blink of an eye. But I got to give a lot of credit there to Tanuki. They hunkered down. They played a really, really excellent round right there. They gave up first point pretty quickly, but second point defense, I mean, I look at that as a really, really difficult one to kind of push through sometimes, and they made it difficult. The supports on that high ground just did so much for them, and that was one thing that really led Midori to capping first point, was forcing the supports of Tanuki off that high ground. And once they did that, they won that point pretty quickly. But looks like the strategy for Tanuki is going to be the TP across or to this bridge right here and try to take a fight pretty quickly. Squeak, I mean, what I said coming in this map, Squeak really needed to step up. Squeak is stepping up here. Same thing with Spingar. I mean, those two have been doing a really good job. TP actually just to the opposite low ground there to make sure their supports can get set up on that high ground. But Hero, again, they can pressure them out a little bit, but I don't necessarily know if that's the right move for them. They're going to fall down for a brief moment. Hyken try and do what they can here, but again, I mean, this was the thing I was very questioning last time around. Was this D.Va pick going to be good into Winston? I mean, the Tesla gun just goes through no matter what. Defense Matrix does not eat that up. But again, right now, you see this a lot. Defensive teams will kind of always allow this, but Squeak picking up right where they left off. Have to fall back here a little bit just to get some healing. But Cabe looks like they should get caught out here, getting some support. Hero put to sleep yet again, but gets that Bionade, making sure they get healed up pretty good. Spingar, I mean, any good pick here from Spingar leads to so much, but Squeak, I mean, give themselves a round of applause. They are having a great map to start here, and Spingar looking like they're going to rotate back to maybe get a swap over to something else here that finds a little bit more value as you get towards this first point. Cabe set up on the high ground. You see Zac over there on that opposite one. I mean, they are trying to pincer them here, which is the right kind of move for Midori. You just need to find someone in that back line, but that support line for Tanuki is rock solid. Hyken throwing out that pulse bomb, going to be able to chunk down Hero on that mech, but not going to be able to find them this just yet. Hyken tries to go for the 1-2 punch combo right there, not going to be able to find it, but Spingar back out on the Soj, immediately gets rid of Cabe, and if you are Midori, I think you should just be considering backing out of this one, and that looks like to be the case. Zac can try to stall it out a little bit longer, but Hyken finds them out there. 4 minutes, 50 seconds, a little bit better than what Midori got throughout that last round right there. And now they give themselves a really good chance because, remember, the golden box of victory is at the end of this point right here. You see it right there. I mean, for Tanuki, this was the bounce back map you really needed, but Squeak getting nanoed up here. Gonna be put to sleep. Deadeye coming out from Cave, trying to find Squeak. They'll only find damage, though, with it. Squeak getting rid of Zac, but you will trade out Virtual on the other side here. But this is what we saw a lot last round. Midori, whenever they lost Zac on that Tracer, kind of just fell back, but on defense, you really can't do that. Now actually being invested here on to Hero. Seaborn getting rid of Hex, and I mean, if you are Tanuki, you might just be backing up. You're definitely backing up now as half your team is dead. Spingar, though, does get one, and we could be seeing the exact same thing we saw last round here, where Tanuki really came alive on this defensive side. Midori, now that they can get set up on the high ground, might be able to come alive here, but ultimates are coming up online here. Pulse Bomb out, gonna force out the Primal Rage here from Squeak, but nice whip right there from Triplet to send them backpacking. But again, Triplet does have this rally ready to go if they do feel pressured. Out there it is, and Squeak sayonara, as that will probably do it for this engagement for Tanuki, as I mean, you already see them trying to back up. They're in this small room, but that might just be their death sentence. Spingar, almost getting chunked out there. Would have been a worst case scenario to lose them out. But right now, again, if you are this Midori squad, you already see him getting set back up on high ground. This was something that was incredibly difficult for Midori to do last time around, was disengage the support line from that high ground. Anti-Nade not actually be able to find anyone other than Virtual, but Hero hitting the Primal Rage right now, and it is going to find value. Getting rid of Hex, now going after Spingar. Going to fall away, though, and just go back and focus in on Squeak, who they might be able to get rid of here, but Virtual right there to keep him alive. And again, this is what kind of happened with Tanuki on the defense side. They just were able to find one pick, send Midori back. Spingar, though, getting rid of Zac. That does allow Tanuki to come back in here. You look at their ult bank. They are in a really, really good spot right now. There's the Nano out on the Squeak, as the Squeak already on that high ground, trying to just get rid of one, trying to find Cave. They're going to be able to do that. Spingar with the overclock right now, trying to focus in on Triplet. Triplet falls back behind those boxes. Squeak, though, will clean them up. Squeak, like I said, having themselves a bounce-back performance after a struggle on the first map of Ilios here. Once they get rid of Hero, I could say this might just be current. Seaborn, though, gets turned on. Zac finds one with the pulse bomb. Triplet coming back in to the fray. Deadeye out here from Cave, looking to get Spingar, but that skull just going to be eaten up by a bubble. Eventually, though, they will be able to find Spingar with it. Will there be enough? Squeak falls. Actually, Midori coming back in this one here. Great plays coming out from them to get those stagger picks and stagger plays. They're going to be able to keep it alive here with 100 seconds left to go. And if you're Tanuki, you really threw everything into that fight, invested all 4 or 5 ultimates you had. But same thing could be said for Midori, as they invested them just to keep the defensive round alive. Right now, Squeak just trying to build up some space, but same thing could be said for Hero here, as they are just building space, forcing back Tanuki here for the moment. And right now, I mean, you're just looking for anything. Nice dive here by Hero into that back line. Nice sleep by Virtual, but oh no, they woke up the Winston. However, someone's on point right now. I think it might be Squeak. You do see them turn around, eventually get Squeak right there, finding Hero. Now it's up to Zac to do whatever they can on this Tracer to keep them up and alive and kicking. But with Spingar finding them out, Tanuki gonna be able to win our second map of the night, evening up the series at 1. A great map, honestly, here for Tanuki. A really good bounce back performance. Like I said, everyone on this team kind of struggled first map after first point of Ruins, and it just seemed like Midori had every answer for them. But Midori here, they kind of struggled, and Tanuki, they found all the value. They brought us to a dive map. They looked like to be a team that's very comfortable playing the dive. I would not be surprised if we see more of it down the line. Okay, let's pull up stats. Stats are always really fun to look at. I love looking at them here. And the biggest difference between map 1 and map 2, I mean, just look at that DPS line. 19 kills for Tanuki's DPS line in map 1. 50 here in map number 2. They really stepped up. Squeak also stepped up here. Least deaths in the lobby. 4, especially when you're playing a tank like Winston. Yeah, Primal Rage, you can build up pretty quickly, but they did a really, really good job in that support line. They were doing a lot. 12,000, almost 13,000 healing for, I forget who was playing it, but I believe that's the Ana. Did a really, really good job there. Midori, like I said, they captured first point pretty quickly. But after that, Tanuki really came alive on the defensive side and just shut them down every way. And it seemed like Midori was just trying to find any little opening they could, but they just kept getting shut down time after time. But hey, we have ourselves a series on our hands, and like I said, this one could go the distance. I mean, we've seen Midori a couple times. They've been pretty dominant in the series that me and Hunter have been able to cast to them, but they're going up against a Tanuki team that was I believe, one of the last remaining undefeated teams. Same thing with Midori. So this is a game that me and Hunter kind of had circled, like, hey, we wanted to cover this one. But let's take a look at what our next map of the night is going to be. I took too long. So in a moment here, I will know what it is, and we will know what bands are as well. But hey, just good performances from both sides here from so far. I mean, Midori had a great map 1. Tanuki kind of struggled. Tanuki, great map 2, and Midori struggled. I mean, we're back and forth. But, I mean, outside of that, Zach on the Tracer, I did kind of, I mean, no, my bad. I'm looking at map 1. Hyken on the Tracer and Zach on the Tracer. That was a big thing I touched on after map 1, where it seemed like Zach was always finding a lot of value with the Tracer and Hyken was struggling on it. Well, much like map 1, the roles are reversed here in map 2, where Hyken was finding so much value on it, doing a lot. And I mean, that Tracer duel was very, very fun to watch, the moments that we did, and Hyken always seemed to be coming out on top there. But heading into map 3, still waiting on to figure out what map 3 just is. Talked about stats maybe a little bit too long there. Okay, so map 3, gonna be Surabasa Juno Hazard ban coming out here. I don't hate it, but Hazard we haven't seen that much of. I mean, we did see Hazard a little bit map 1. Outside of that, though, Hazard was kind of a non-factor. I mean, we did see a lot from Tanuki. I mean, no, my bad, from Midori, and it just didn't really do much for them. But, I mean, map 2 came along, and we saw Winston and D.Va. We could see Winston and D.Va here again on this point, but I don't necessarily expect it. All right, let's go in. Looks like we are still on.
Ready for battle.
Do I have the teams backwards? I do. Okay, let me fix that. Oh, that's the score. My bad. There we are. All right. So, just looking at the compositions here, going back to Orissa's, not necessarily a big surprise. You ban out the Hazard. Hazard has been being played here a lot. So you bring out the Orissas, kind of want to have this duel here. And it looks like, I mean, I'm surprised we're seeing the Freyas come back out. Cabe really hasn't shown us a Freya all night long. They've been playing mostly Soj. So the Freya coming out here is interesting, especially with no Juno. For either team here being the second ban. Outside of that, the only main difference is the support lines. I mean, you see Tanuki here. They want to play a little bit quicker with that support line, while you're looking at Midori. They want to play slow here with it. They want to be able to find a lot of damage, and right now, that support line is doing its job. Everyone getting in that kill feed. Zach already finding Squeak out, and Midori going to be able to get the first cap here. Triplet getting their name in that kill feed to finish off this first fight. Midori capping up point first here. And now, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Tanuki tries to come back into this one. I mean, Squeak did play a really excellent Orisa back on point 1 of Ilios, but they just kind of struggled after that right there. And I mean, you already see Cave up here on this high ground, landing the shot right there onto Spin Guard, but not going to be able to do much. And I mean, the roles are pretty much reversed here. The fight did take place on that side of the point first time around, but I mean, you see Midori just falling back towards the middle of the map right now. Squeak getting a little bit too low, and I feel like this might be kind of their downfall on this Orisa pick. They like to play maybe a little bit too aggressive, especially with that support line that they have. I mean, you're really looking at Virtual to heal you up as much as you can, but I just don't necessarily think this Orisa pick with the support line right now for Tanuki is the right pick. There's so much healing that's come out from both Virtual and Hex that it's just not enough at times, and you're seeing the support line right now from Midori kind of prove the point right there. But this DPS line for Midori picking up, actually bouncing back from map 2 where they did struggle a little bit, and point 1 gonna go over to Midori here. Hyken trying to find something here, trying to get rid of Cave. Does have the pulse bomb ready to go. Finding Cave out early on would be great, and they see no supports around them. Hyken gonna be able to get them out, giving Tanuki here the slight advantage, but it looks like Midori is actually in better spots here to just get to point. Hex gonna just speed boost their team in here. It actually looks like Midori gonna go take the high ground first. Nice javelin there by Squeak to force Hex or force Hero back here for the moment. But you look at the supports right now for Midori, they're in a much better spot when it comes to that. They can just dump a couple ultimates here right now, as though it looks like it's actually Tanuki that wants to go in first. There's the Terror Surge, the Rally, and the Bolo all coming out at once. Pulse Bomb out as well for Midori, finding nothing. Zach will eventually find one out there. Hyken gonna be able to get rid of Cave yet again here, but where's the follow-up for the rest of all these ultimates that came out there from Midori? I mean, you're finding two, but it looks like it's going to be Tanuki capping point up here first. Hero trying to do what they can. They actually get rid of Hex, which is a huge pick off for them here now. Just trying to jab out. Zach still here, going to be able to get rid of Virtual. And, I mean, you're looking at Tanuki right now so close to actually getting this first cap, but Zach and Hero was along with Seaborn right there, who will eventually fall by the hands of Spingar. It looks like it's going to be Midori capping up this second point first. I mean, you have beat coming up here if you are Tanuki, and you're not that far away from some other ultimate. Spingar making that swap off the Freya over to Cassie does have Deadeye pretty soon, but one thing you always have to watch out for when you are cast with that Deadeye going up against a Orisa is just the jab. We've all seen that cancel out way too many times here recently. Nice jab out there by Squeak, trying to force Hero back a little bit, but right now, I mean, Squeak focusing on their sights on the Zac instead, not going to be able to find a Javelin, not going to be able to do much that time around. It's each team just trying to get that early opportunity here, that early pick. Jabs going out each side. There's the beat out from Hex. Seaborn, though, hitting the Ant Matrix right now, but it's going to be Hex actually finding them out instead. Hero will trade it out there, so one support down on each side. Virtual trying to keep themselves alive here. Spingar, though, going to be able to find Zach, who just gets rid of Virtual, and I mean, still back and forth here at the moment. There's the Terror Surge. There's the Bolo. Cave gonna be able to find two with the Bolo right there, finding immense value with it. And Midori, that's going to give him second point guaranteed. And now 1 point away here from putting themselves up 2-0 in this series. And I mean, this has been a back and forth series. We've basically been handing off who's having the dominant map here. And look at that. Hero putting on a performance here. 15-0 Cave as well. This DPS line for Midori. Oh, they are on fire. 28 eliminations combined. Make that 29 as Zach popping off, finding Hex out early with that pulse bomb. Spingar, though, looking at the data, going to be able to shut down Zach. The Terror Surge is going to be able to get rid of that Immortality Field, but Cave will trade it out. Tanuki, though, rotating towards point. Looks like they might be able to take it here first, and I think Midori's actually going to get it over to them. Rally and the overclock ready here for each side. Virtual going to pop the amp here right now. That will force back to Midori here, and if you're Tanuki, you need this. You just need time. You just need to take a little bit of a breather here. Nice charge jab, force back Hero a little bit, but you are just building up to that ultimate onslaught right now for Midori. About to have 4 ready to go. Pulse bomb coming out there from Hyken. Didn't find the stick, and if it did, it would have been on to someone like Hero. Triplet hitting the rally right here. The overshield's coming in right now. Hero just charging in. They are about to have that Terror Surge online. There it is, and this one's gonna find value. Virtual getting bullied into wall. Squeak actually eats the Bolo shot right there, but Zach will be able to clean them up. Seaborn gonna be able to shut down Spingar with some help from Triplet, and this looks like at this moment right now, Tanuki just trying to stagger out this point as much as they can, get up as high as they can as well, because this was a heavy invest fight here from Midori, and they will eventually come out on top. And now you flip tables around. Tanuki right there gonna have 3-4 ultimates coming up here very soon. The only thing that Midori is going to have is going to be the Ant Matrix and the Pulse Bomb coming up here. Now, Spingar has this Deadeye. The only thing ready right now for Tanuki. They found one with it last time, and that basically got them this first point gap. Here it is right now, looking on that high ground, gonna be able to shut down Cave, and that's who you need to find if you were Spingar. You get rid of them, now you can rotate to point. You're gonna have Terror Surge here pretty soon. You do have Amp Matrix, so that could be just used as zoning, but hey, there's gonna be no touches. The Amp Matrix is dueling here from both sides. Hero just gonna be forced back there. Pulse Bomb gonna be able to shut down Virtual. Rally now out here from Hex right there, and this might actually just do it here for this point. Tanuki gonna be able to keep this map alive, and now they start the reverse sweep opportunity here on this point. But good performance here from Tanuki. I mean, the biggest thing I talked about coming into this point was the DPS line for them. Spingar and Hyken were really struggling into it. Spingar being able to use that Deadeye a couple times, find picks early on in engagements really did give Tanuki that advantage they were looking for here. And Tanuki going to be able to get set up on this next point first. Have 2 ultimates in the bag, but you do see Midori here coming up to 3 of their own. That Bolo from Cave, that has been one that has been finding consistent value this time around here. So I expect to find some value here again, especially with Hero building up to their own Terror Surge. That has been a combo you've seen in the past. Squeak, though, frontlining a lot of it here. Point will open. Those Aristas were dual out here. There's the Terror Surge out from Squeak. Gonna immediately pop it there. Not finding much damage. Hero, though, looking for one of their own. There it is. There's the Bolo out from Cave. Gonna be able to find Spingar with that strong combo. Hero getting rid of Hyken, and this looks like it will be Midori just cleaning it up here. Squeak, though, gonna be able to find one. Hero, though, just a little bit too much right here as you see Seaborn just being able to pump in damage from afar. And Hero already 3rd pick here, make Cave right there. That will be the point going over to Midori to start this all off here. Again, they only need one more point here on this map to put them on series point. But heavy investments from both sides, honestly, in that engagement. Yes, Spingar's going to have the Deadeye, which has been the key to their success, really, this map for Tanuki. But you look at Midori, going to have both their support ultimates and support ults and Pulse Bomb ready for Zac. They are in a good spot, and that Pulse Bomb coming out right there, only going to get rid of that Immortality field, but you see Virtual already very low on health right here. Hex trying to do what they can. Now you're seeing Hero get aggressive. Hyken going to be able to find Zac with a rally out here from Triplet. Those over shield just doing a little bit too much right now. And you just see him playing aggressively, and hey, why not? You already have a 2, make that 3-man bout to be 4-man advantage, and if you are Tanuki now, you are considering swaps here. So I would be looking at Squeak, probably swapping over something that can get a touch, because you have the long spawns at the moment. No swaps coming out just yet. They feel pretty confident that Hyken's going to be able to stay alive long enough to get a touch here, but they have to deal with Zac. The only one blink there to get back to point. They're going to be able to commence the overtime, but it'll be at the cost of their own life here. Data coming out from Spingar, looking for anything. No skulls in sight, but they do get some point presence to keep that overtime wick alive here. Hero just gonna try to force them back. Rally out here from Hex. Pulse or Terror Surge out. Gonna be able to do a lot of damage. Cave did throw in that Bolo right there, getting some damage. But right now, Hyken gonna be able to get back into the fray, find one, but you still need a lot of stuff here if you are Tanuki. Spingar shuts down Hero, and honestly, Tanuki turning this one around here. Zac, though, falling. You will find Hex with that whip shot, and if you are Midori, you are just gonna back up here. You have 99%. All you need is one team fight win, and you can take a fight here, really. All right. So, I mean, you're in a good spot right now. If you are Tanuki, you have your own Terror Surge, you have a Pulse Bomb. You could combo those, really, if you want, but you really want to try to draw this fight out. I mean, you do see Midori kind of rotating around to the far side of point here, and they're just trying to bait something out here. Hero getting very low. That's not who you want to see fall first if you are Midori, because that will send it immediately fall back. But same thing for Squeak Virtual, though. Cave will find them out, and Cave on this Freya, finding all the value in the world. Squeak gonna pop off with a Terror Surge here, just trying to get whatever healing they can, but they are in a bad spot. Hyken, though, being able to trade it out. Hero will eat the Pulse Bomb, and that is not what you wanted to see. If you're Tanuki now, you're just trying to stay alive as long as you can. That Amp Matrix out from Seaborn, that is gonna be scary. And there's the point flip for Midori. Oh, Virtual falling right there. You do see Hyken right here trying to just keep this contest alive. Overtime wick now burning. Squeak back on the Doomfist, but only for a brief moment. Hyken using that recall right there. Now they're just gonna blink back and forth across the point. Will they even be able to get one more in? No, they will not. And Midori gonna put themselves on to series point. Honestly, I mean, at points this map, Midori looked like a completely different team than what we saw all the way back on Watchpoint Gibraltar. They really did. But there was the turn there on that third point. Tanuki really did start to look a lot better. And I mean, they almost came back here on this second point, but it was just a little bit too much for them to overcome. I mean, hey, good showing though there from Midori. Really just needed to get that one back in control, and now they are on series point again. This is a big game for both these teams. I mean, we could talk about playoffs down the line here in a little bit, but I mean, every win matters. Midori 6-3, and I mean, if we take a look here at the standings again, 6-3, they'd go to 7-3. They would be safely in that top 4 spot right there. But let's look back at the stats for that last map there. I mean, again, you look at it here, it's very much one-sided towards Midori, but Tanuki really did start to perform a little bit better third point onto fourth point, but I just think letting Midori get up to 99% on that last point was something that really did hurt them. It really did hurt Tanuki. And again, you're looking at that DPS line. Spingar, after having an excellent map on Watchpoint, kind of just fell apart. Runasapi gonna be our pick here for map number 4. Freya being banned out first. They do not want to see Cabe on Freya yet again. Sorry about that. They do not want to see Cabe on that Freya here again, because you see what Cabe did on the Freya here. 20 eliminations, 4 deaths. I mean, 20 eliminations, especially when you compare to Zac, you might say, well, I mean, they weren't necessarily keeping up with Zac, but I mean, Cabe was doing so much on the Freya. That burst damage that Freya is really known for was doing a lot there, and you can see it here. Almost 11,500 damage compared to what Spingar was playing on Freya over to the Cassidy, only 8,500. A big difference right there in your hit scans. And the Tracer duel, I mean, pretty even across the board, but Zac found the advantage of it more often than not. I mean, 3 times the kills is really nothing to scoff at here. And I mean, Hero did a great job again, but this is the first map, my bad. But yeah, basically I could be saying the same thing here. This has been what this series has been. Midori dominantly winning map 1, Tanuki dominantly winning map 2, and then we go right back to Midori dominantly winning map 3. We've been having a coin flip of a series here so far, and right now heading into, it was Runasapi. Don't know what the second ban was just yet. It's interesting to look at it here. And I mean, it's a whole team kind of play here from Midori. I mean, triplet, lowest amount of elims, but highest amount of assists. What do you really want from your support players here? Seaborn did a great job. I mean, Seaborn had more eliminations than the combined totals of almost 4 or 5 members there of Tanuki. Really good performances there from Midori on a bounce back map, one that they looked very strong on, very much showing that 6-3 record and wanted to be securely locking themselves into that top 4 here. But Tanuki, I mean, they had a struggle. Map 1 on Ilios, bounced back on map 2 of Watchpoint. Heading into Rusafi, I kind of expect that same kind of bounce back from them, honestly. But it really comes down to, I want to, like, I've been focusing in on the DPS lines, but when Squeak played good back on, when Squeak was playing really good back on Watchpoint, you can see it here. The difference in just how they played, it was incredible to see. And map 1 as well, point 1 of Ruins. Squeak played an incredible Orisa, and then just kind of fell apart after that. Okay, so there's a sign that we know what our second ban is. Orisa being banned out here. Oh, I love this ban if you are Midori. You know, if you go back to it, Squeak played an excellent Orisa. Point 1, they like to favor the Orisa a little bit. They could play a really strong Winston because that's what really carried them on Watchpoint. But same time, heading into a map like Runasapi, it's interesting to really see what we could get here.
Initiating match.
Let me get this back up here real quick. Why does it do this every time? There we are. All right, so Tanuki, game point here for, Midori, game point here for them. And coming out of the gate, what are we going to see from these two teams?
Ready.
Hazards coming out here for these teams. Kind of surprised by that. I mean, we did see Hazard a little bit map 1 for, honestly, I think it was Midori, and it just struggled to find anything. on one point and then found a lot of value. So right now, if you're Tanuki, you're really looking at Squeak here to have a really good performance. Backlines, again, that's been one thing where they've never necessarily been mirrored. That's been a big surprise for me so far throughout the night, that we haven't really seen that much of a mirror match when it comes to the support lines. They like to have two different kind of play styles, and right now, like I said, they kind of had the same DP or support line last map for Tanuki. They want to play a little bit fast and ended up hurting them in the end. They eventually did swap over to match the BAP. But I like this kind of quick playstyle on a map like this one, where you want to be getting in that backline fast. Oh, that whip shot could have been scary, but Squeak would have been able to keep themselves up. Nice violent leap right there. Cave getting put in between a rock and a hard place. That immortality field going to be able to keep them alive, and now Squeak looking to get out of dodge right there. But everyone on the side of Midori is low here, and it looks like Spingar. Oh, we're just going back and forth here, everyone. Like I said, this series has been a coin flip. Good first fight, though. For Tanuki. Biggest thing is, with this being a coin flip of series, map to map, Tanuki needed a strong start. They could not start off slow here, and they're doing a good job. No big swaps coming out here just yet, and I like that. I like that here for Midori. Don't need to hit that panic button just yet. Cave on this Cassidy. Again, Freya banned out here, so you're not going to be seeing her at all. Soj is what I really thought we would be seeing from Cave, but no. Sticking with the cast, and I like the pick here. Spingar, though, on the Soj. Found a couple picks in that first engagement. I mean, did a really good job. Right now, Squeak is trying to take some space. Jagged wall out there from Hero, going to force Squeak into a spot that they just kind of have to hit that shield. Kitsune Rush out from Virtual, but Hero finds them out almost immediately. Seaborn with popping the Amp Matrix as well. The damage coming through right there, an ult for an ult. And if you're Midori, you will take what you got from that every day of the week. A team kill, and honestly, that might just give you the lead. I mean, they built up to that. The Virtual and Seaborn have been building up ultimates fast all night long, but you look at it right now, I mean, you're basically about to see all 4 ultimates from each side that weren't using that first fight already ready to go here in this one. Midori not going to be able to take the lead just yet. Spingar starting off with the overclock, but nice Jagged Wall just to deny for a little bit. Deadeye! Pulse Bomb from Zach finds 2. Deadeye going to be used as a zoning tool right here, and that might just do it for this fight. When you find value with Pulse Bomb, man, do you find value with Pulse Bomb. The double kill right there pretty much ended the fight before it even started. Midori takes the lead off that. They still have their rally. They still have a downpour, so they can really use those here just to guarantee themselves forward spawns here in under 3 minutes. It looks like they're going to be able to get that right there. 3 minutes, 53 seconds there for those forward spawns right now. Downpour coming out here from Squeak. Looks like it's going to be able to root up only one. Rally coming out here from Triplet as Cave already finding one out here. Hyken falls first. Not wanting to lose your trace here early on. You already see Tanuki backing up. And if you're Midori, the momentum is in your hands. There's the downpour out from Hero. Pulse Bomb out from Hyken. Not going to be able to find much, but Squeak finds one. Virtual finding a second one here. And it looks like right now if Tanuki gets one more pick here, there it is. This should just be currents for this fight. Cave going to be taken out there by that violent leap. But it looks like everyone from Midori should be able to get those forward spawns.
Hey, what's happening?
All right, forward spawns reset right there, and I mean, Midori doesn't seem to bother or mind that much. I mean, ultimates are only going to be about one ultimate ready for each side, but Seaborn can build up to their Amp Matrix right here that will open up so much for this Midori side like it did last time they had a Cave, though. Deadeye ready to go here. Will probably be used as a zoning tool, maybe even allow Seaborn to build up to that Amp Matrix. At the moment, you see it looks like Tanuki just trying to find that space, maybe even find that off-angle pick here. Zach was in that backline. There's a Kitsune Rush out here. Seaborn going to be able to almost immediately cancel it out here. There's the Deadeye from Cave. Has one skull. Going to be not finding much there other than some damage on to Squeak, who gets healed up almost immediately. And good job by Tanuki this time around, kiting out the Amp Matrix, kiting out the Deadeye. They are still very much in this fight here as Midori tries to take this cart away from them. Right now, though, Hex going a little bit too far. Hyken, though, out on the Genji here, though. No more Tracer for them finding one. Spingar gets rid of one. Make it two. About to be 3. Tanuki right back in this map. And those should be that first checkpoint and those forward spawns for Tanuki. Whew, Hyken finding the late pick as well. That's not what you wanted if you were Midori right here, because that really allows Tanuki to potentially take the lead here now. And, I mean, you look at the ultimates that Tanuki has coming up here. Hyken has the blade. Squeak about to have the downpour. You're in a really good spot. Triplet you're going to be the only one on the other side that's going to have an ultimate here relatively soon with that rally. Going to be able to cancel out one of those ultimates, but not both. So you're going to have to pick your poison here. Downpour out here. Going to be able to actually find out Hero, who is rooted there in the ground, just going to guard themselves, keep them alive and kicking. But that downpour, I mean, all it's really doing is just buying some more time here on this cart. Squeak, though, eventually being pressured out here. Rally now out from Triplet. There's the blade from Hyken, trying to find anyone they can, but the rally is just a little bit too much. Virtual will find them, will find Triplet right out after that, but Hex, again, being put into a bad spot right there, will fall. Virtual trying to keep themselves alive as Tanuki now playing towards the side of the map. No one to really boop them off here other than potentially Triplet, but they're walking back from spawn. Won't need it, though, as Midori going to be able to clean up this fight, but now they are down by 19 meters here with 4 minutes to go. Very comebackable here for them, especially with the ultimates they have coming up. Okay. Pulse bomb out there from Zach. Not going to be able to find much that time around for the Tracer, but Hero getting rid of Hex, and Hex has been falling early in a lot of these engagements, or just in the wrong spot for a lot of these engagements, actually kind of forcing out the continuing rush here from Virtual. Seaborn, though, that Ant Matrix just going to do enough there. Squeak going to be able to fall back just far enough to play safely here. Hero trying to frontline this all at the moment. Same thing with Squeak. I mean, we talk about this a lot when me and Hunter are casting these games, taking these 50-50 fights. If you are in the lead right now, that is what Tanuki is trying to do, but you have to really win this one back and start pushing it the other way. Ultimate's coming online here as Cave now has the overclock, popping it off right now. Hero, though, going to be able to find one. Beat out from Hex as they just need to keep their team supported here. Spin Guard going to be able to find Cave. There's the downpour. Going to be able to find one out there, but Hyken coming in clutch here for their team. Going to be able to find one, make it two. And like I said, these 50-50 fights that you need to take here if you're Tanuki to win this map. You took one right there, and you got out two good ultimates for the price of a beat. Yeah, the beat is strong, but you will take that every day of the week if you're them. Now, I mean, hey, you push it back as far as you can. Try to get those forward spawns, honestly, if you're them. And you have ultimates coming up. You have three good ultimates when you look at the other side. I mean, there's those forward spawns. You're going to fall back here a little bit if you are Tanuki, but I mean, if you're Tanuki, you try to play aggressive here. Triplet, though, finding Hyken out is not what you wanted to see. One ultimate gone here, really not even finding anything. So if you're Midori, you're loving this. You got rid of one ultimate. Triplet almost falling there, but going to be able to jump back down to safety. Hero going to follow them back down. 2 minutes left on the time bank here now for Midori to keep this alive and kicking here for them. They need to get going, though. They're slowly building up those ultimates. There's the downpour out from Squeak. Hyken gonna pop up with a blade, finding one, looking for a second one. Not gonna be able to find his. Cave shuts them down, but trading back and forth here again, kind of what you want. Cave and Seaborn cleaning up this fight. Hero getting their name in that kill feed. 95 seconds left to go here for Midori. And they are coming up to a bevy of ultimates here, while you just saw Tanuki invest 3 into that fight. I mean, my bad. Invest 2 into that. No, invest 3 into that fight. I mean, you're going to have both your support ultimates, but you are going to have to win a fight here early on. Forward spawns, back in control here for Midori. And that golden line there, you see not that far away. Hyken falling as Triplet is being a menace on the Lucio. You love it when your Lucio can pop off like they are right now. You have ultimates coming up here. Seaborn about to have this Kitsune Rush ready to go. And does Tanuki give up the lead? No, but there's the Kitsune Rush that might force back Tanuki for the moment. Downpour is out. A meter difference. Not even Hyken, though, going to be able to find Cave. The beat out from Triplet. But you're not finding much else here. Beats out from both sides. Tanuki understand that they need to win this fight to keep this series alive, and they are doing a good job of doing just that. Hero last one alive, and honestly, it looks like they're trying to stagger him out. 37 seconds left on this time bank for Midori, or for Tanuki. You're not out of it just yet, but that was a pretty heavy ult investment there for Midori. And now if you're Tanuki, you're going to have an overclock here up soon and a downpour. You cannot not lose a dry fight, though. That is the worst thing that could happen for them. Nice jagged wall right there to deny them. Forward spawns, reset right there. So any pick is huge here now for Tanuki. Midori trying to come back in. The overclock coming out here from Cave. If they can find one or two, it opens this map wide open and gives them the opportunity to win it outright here. Overtime going to commence, but that overclock is gone. Zach does have the blade ready to go. There's nothing on the other side that can really stop him. They don't touch card! They don't touch card! Tanuki gonna go to map 5 on a C9! Oh my goodness! Oh no! Oh! Midori had the ultimates coming up online. They had the ultimates online, but they just didn't play card. We are heading to a map 5, everybody. Oh, what a painful way. Oh, what a painful way to lose that map if you are Midori. But right now, if you're Tanuki, new life here in this series, but you have a tough road ahead of you here now. As, I mean, it's been coin flips so far this series for these two teams, but that last map, that was back and forth. That was our closest map of the night. And it was a really, really good one there for Tanuki. They took control when they needed to. Looks like Circuit Royale going to be our final map of the night. The decider here. I'll wait for first ban coming out here before I go look at the stats for that last map. But, jeez. Oh, that's heartbreaking right there if you are Midori. Because I felt like they had it. They kind of had it going their way. They really did, I felt like. But right now, waiting on that first ban still. Again, this is a poke map, but a lot of times you see interesting comps come out here, and that's why I really love seeing this map. You can see Zen, you can see Ramatra come out here. So Ramatra gone. If you want to play poke, Sigma is now your only option. So let's go look back at the scoreboard for that last map here. And I mean, this is the closest the scoreboard has looked throughout this entire series for these two teams. It's been one-sided affairs so far for these two teams, but this is a close one. Sorry, just putting out a tweet that we are heading to a map 5. All right, but I mean, DPS lines, consistent. Support lines, consistent. Tanks, consistent. Squeak, they did really good this round. They did really good last map. I mean, you go look back at Watchpoint, the one map Tanuki won before this one. It was a big one for them, and Squeak played out of his mind. Squeak, I think, just being able to keep themselves alive a little bit longer than Hero here made a big difference. But a C9 is a C9 at the end of the day, and like I said, I really believe Midori kind of had it going their way. But alas, we are here for map 5, and I've said, like, I could see this going 5. I really could. I did not expect it, though, especially with how Midori was playing and how they were playing down the stretch there on Runasapi. Oh, man, Tanuki, like I said, giving themselves a breath of life now in this series. One more map to go here. The decider will be on Circuit Royale. Again, the first ban was Ramatra, so you're not going to see that poke brawl kind of hybrid style that you get with Ramatra a lot of time. So if you're going to play poke, you really only truly have Sigma left at this point. Other than that, I mean, I feel like you mostly just see dive or straight brawl here. So Winston could be back on the table, but then you're playing right back in to Squeak's hands, because they played an excellent Winston back on Circuit Royale. But our final ban of the night going to be Brig coming out here. So I really like these bans. They both cover a lot of bases, honestly, here for these two teams. You ban out the Brig. That Brig has been a constant pick here for Midori all series long. I mean, they've been doing a really good job on the Brig, but it started to fall off there, and you even saw them swap off it point there last map, where it just wasn't finding the value they were truly looking for. But you want to ban it out here because Brig does find an immense amount of value. Maybe not on first point, but second point and third point push here on this map. Brig just finds a lot of value. So smart ban out there by Tanuki. The Ramatra ban is an interesting one, though. We have seen a little bit of Ramatra. But I just don't necessarily know if it's was the right one. But hey, you want to play certain play style, you ban out the Ramatra. If you want to play brawl or you want to play poke, you are basically forcing out a Sigma here. I should have got water before this. Oh, but I mean, this has been a really fun series. These two teams, I mean, like I said, maps 1 through 3 were coin flips basically on who dominated it. It was Midori maps 1 and 3 and Tanuki maps 2. Map 4, Runasapi, like if you just saw, that was our closest one. You see the stats here, closest one of the night. That's what gives me a lot of hope here heading into map number 5 that we are going to be just wild and out here. I mean, the DPS players have been playing really good, especially when you look at Cabe and Spingar. Those have been your hit scans throughout the night. Going into a map like this, I expect Widow. Freya is also a good pick here. Not banned. Remember, the bans here for this map are going to be Ramatra and Brig.
Initiating match.
But, I mean, heading now into our final map of the night, I mean, Circuit Royale, like I said, it is a poke map. I kind of expect to see a decent amount. Every time I need to change this. I really do expect to see poke. If we don't see poke, I expect to just straight see dive or brawl. Like, I know I'm basically naming every comp at this point, but that's just the truth. But no, coming out of the gate, this is what I wanted to see. I can't, like, this is, like I said, this map is fun because you get to see interesting compositions. Well, you get to see a very interesting composition here right now with Life Weavers being teased, Triplet teasing us with the Yari. Those are two heroes that you can definitely see on this point and this map alone. But Cabe coming out on the Widow, this is what I wanted to see from them. Spingar sticking with the Freya. That kind of seems to be their go-to throughout a lot of this series, and I'm not necessarily mad about it. Hyken, though, getting off of the flex CPS, going over to a hit scan themselves on the Soj. Tree, though, is going to be very, very strong here for Hex on this defensive side, as you do see the map kind of open up here. Looks like the Yari might just be immediately swapped up here, as you see everyone kind of swap up there. Lucio backline here for Midori on our final map of the night. That is a fun one, if you ask me. And right now, Spingar using this pedal just to get up high without having to use their own updraft right there. And Cabe coming right back with a couple nice shots. But a lot of times you do see this kind of battle go out here where the defending team will just give up that first corner, fall back a little bit, and just kind of play for it right here. You see it a lot on this map, and I kind of like the play style. I like Zach going over to this Mei. If you can ice wall off Squeak, you basically guarantee yourself first point no matter what. Ooh, Hero has to fall back there a little bit, just getting kind of pressured out a little bit by both Hyken and Spingar, who, I mean, they have on and off series. Like I said, both these teams have had on and off, but Zach going to be able to find Hyken out there early on. Immortality Field going to be able to keep Hero alive and kicking here, and they're starting to get that double support right there from both Triplet and Seaborn. And, I mean, right there, losing Hyken, you see what that does here to everyone on the side of Tanuki. They're just falling back here. Spingar not going to be able to do much right there, but if you're Squeak, you need to be getting down there to contesting this cart. Contest coming out there from Hyken, who's back out on the Tracer. I like this pick a little bit better for them. The Soj was very situational, but Tree out there to counter out though. Damage, I like that. Bolo is out there, and Sayonara right there to Seaborn. Cave, though, finds the bigger value onto Squeak, but Hyken right here contesting out cart. If they can actually find Hero out, that'll be huge. They do that. Orbital Ray out from Virtual, beaten now out from the other side. These two teams heavily investing, and if you're Midori, you completely understand why. This is a hard point to come back from. Beat gonna fade away here, though, and if Hyken can keep the contestant alive long enough, you're going to see some members come back, but they will eventually fall via the hand of Zach. 4.5 minutes now for Midori to push through second point, and they have a Blizzard online here, not that far away from a Flux as well. They're in a really, really good spot. But, I mean, like I said, you were not surprised to see a heavy investment from both sides there. Winning that first point defense is very, very key, especially on this map with ultimates going away like they were. Flux coming out, Pulse Bomb actually coming out there, not going to be able to find much. Hyken going to be able to find Seaborn, not much following up there after that, but Zach going to be able to shut down Virtual, and this May in the back line. Get a help triplet find Spingar out. And now Hex running for their life. But I mean, they have been a consistent player for this Tanuki squad throughout the night. When someone needs to clean up, it's normally Heiken right there to clean up the fight. And hey, Midori going to be sent back to the spawn here to regroup real quick. Still have a Blizzard online, not that far away from a Flux. Oh, Heiken getting in there, finding the one clip with some help, sending triplet back. And I mean, you kind of see it already. Midori kind of just playing safe. You cannot afford to lose Hero here, but Hero playing a dangerous game. So is Zach. Heiken trying to just get their bearings. Oh, almost gets rid of Zach right there, but the Ice Wall going to be able to save them here. No Pulse Bomb just yet for them, as you do see Midori starting to fall back a little bit, but regrouping. Pulse Bomb out there from Heiken, and say goodbye to Triplet yet again to start off the fight here. Heiken going to be able to get that small health pack, but Cave coming right back in, going to be able to find them out. Perk here from Cave to make sure that they always see where the low health heroes are on the other side. Blizzard actually coming out here from Zach, not going to be able to find much. Flux out from Hero, only going to be able to find a couple. Squeak getting just hit by that pedal right there, not going to be able to find the accretion right there. Tree out here from Hex, and I mean, you can see Tanuki want to play aggressively here. That tree is out early on. Seaborn now actually hitting us with the amp matrix right here, but not going to be using it that often, as they have to actually turn around and focus back in on that back line, as again Heiken just pressuring them out here a lot. Hex though, now that tree is gone. A lot of healing has to go into Squeak. The grass going to be able to keep them alive. Bolo out on to Squeak right there, as Cave not going to be able to find much. Beat going to be actually able to keep Seaborn alive. Triplet will find out. Spingar. Hex falls. The Orbital Ray with the Flux out here from the side of Tanuki. Squeak will be able to find one, but right now Virtual and Squeak doing what they can. Heiken, though, still in that backline. Again, as long as Heiken is in fights, this Tanuki squad is certainly not down and out. Seaborn looking like they're going to be the last one sent back to spawn. Investing the... Ooh. I don't know about that. Usage of the Pulse Bomb right there, but hey, you get some style points. You find Triplet almost pressuring Cave back out. You're going to force them to fall back here. 84 seconds left on the clock here from Midori. You do have Bolo ready to go if you are Tanuki here now. No ultimates, though, coming up on the docket right now if you are Midori and you're just trying to find anything here. Again, Heiken has been a thorn in your backside this entire round at the moment. That's exactly what you want from a Tracer player. Barriers low on each side. Squeak falling back here a little bit. Has to get some support. Zach gonna find them out. The Bolo out from Spingar. Has to find some value, but down their tank right now. What can this Tanuki squad do? Heiken falls as well, and that might just guarantee Midori the second point right here, keeping this round alive for them. Spingar falls. Yep, point two gonna be all but guaranteed here now, as you just see a clean up crew coming in. Your Squeak, though, coming back out on the Doomfist to try to stall out some time. 2 minutes for Midori to push through point three. Whew. All right, Midori, I mean, 4.5 minutes going into that second point push, all the way knocked down to 30 seconds there. Tanuki really did step up, and right now you see Squeak go right back over to the Sigma here now. Heiken, though, I mean, Heiken has just been a star for this team so far. This map really slowing down a lot, but right now you start to look at the side of Midori. Actually, I'm going to go back to this Tracer duel happening on point, because you do see Squeak actually there to help. The Bolo Flux coming out right there, but only going to be able to find one each way. You'll take that trade every day, but Squeak a little bit too far forward, and you are seeing the rest of Tanuki be punished for their hubris right there, as it will be a team kill there for Midori. And now they're going to be rounding the final stretch here in the final minute of play on this round. And I like this play from Midori. You don't see it a lot where you see multiple people on the cart, but right now, actually, Zach has his Pulse Bomb ready to go. They could stick it on the Virtual, but they're just going to run away for the moment. They're just checking everyone right now. on the side of Tanuki. But this pulse bomb, they might see the opening for it. Sticking it onto Hex. Goodbye, Lifeweaver. Goodbye, Tree. And goodbye, Spingar. Orbital Ray has to come out here to keep Tanuki alive in this one. They need to be able to find someone with it here. Not going to be able to do it just yet as Triplet does invest the beat into this fight. Seaborn going to be able to get rid of Virtual, and now Squeak a little bit too far forward on it. Hex does have the tree ready to go, but they're going to probably need to use that to keep themselves alive here as Spingar. Hex back into the fight. No ultimates on the side of Midori. You do have both your Bolo and the tree ready to go here for Tanuki. If you even get a touch, Squeak coming back out on the Wrecking Ball. That's going to be a great stall tool out here, but Hex, they really need to get this tree up online. There it is right there, but it's not going to be enough to keep Spingar alive here. Bolo out. Oh, it's only going to land on the Hex, but the tree going to be able to keep him alive long enough. Virtual, though, going to be able to find one. Squeak doing what they can on the Wrecking Ball. The tree providing enough health here. Hero will fall, and Tanuki doing what they need to do here to make sure to give themselves a win condition heading into our last round of the night. Amp Matrix out from Seaborn. Not going to be enough. Hyken's Pulse Bomb finds the value, and Tanuki denies the full cap, giving themselves a win condition here now. Woo! Heading into a map 5 off of C9. This is what you wanted to see from these two teams. And Tanuki, I mean, that second point defense really did come in clutch for them. Third point, though, towards the end was huge for them. And you look at the stats here I was talking about throughout that entire round right there. Hyken was doing so much. Spingar doing a lot as well. That DPS line for this Tanuki squad really stepping up when you need them to most. And I mean, even with the difference in deaths, they were doing a really, really good job slowing down Midori there, especially on second point, third point as well. They really took them to odd places with fights, and you saw there a lot. They were playing very aggressively, especially on third point push. I mean, they took a fight very early on. Yeah, you lost it. You got team killed, but you forced out Flux, you forced out Bolo, which was stuff that I don't think we saw Hero get back in the rest of that push. Yeah, Cave got their ultimate back, but it just wasn't necessarily enough there for Midori to get over the edge there. But Tanuki giving themselves now a win condition here in our final round of the night. Not going to overtime here, folks. No big surprises coming out here for either side. I mean, we did see Midori kind of tease us last round with some picks coming out of the gate, but they immediately made some swaps and went back to the composition that they're kind of playing right now. Spingar, though, they're the main difference maker here. They are on the May here to start off. Nice TP, nice Ice Wall, but not going to be able to find much right there. Squeak going to try to punish Zach once they get out of that ice block, but not going to be able to do it as they safely fall back. Seaborn, though, investing the Immortality Field here pretty early on, and already hiking on that high ground right there, but no support with them. I was going to wonder how long the Sim was going to stick with it here, but I mean, at this point, it seems like it's a one life kind of thing here for them before we eventually see probably a swap off to something else. Maybe back over to that Tracer that they've been playing so well on throughout the night here. Icewall out there again, not going to be finding the value there with it here this time. Hyken TPing into that backline, and they are kind of in no man's land here at the moment. Going to be able to TP back out to safety, but Cave just doing enough here on this Freya to really force back Tanuki into a spot they do not want to be in. Cave, say goodbye to the Sim. I would imagine Hyken going to be getting off of it as well. Nice ice wall out there. Triplet, though, going to be able to find Spingar. And I think this kind of strategy for Tanuki going to go by the wayside here as Hero just going to rock Hex back to spawn. And let's see what swaps we see come out here. Hyken going over to the Soj. I'm surprised by that one. I really expected to see the Tracer here. They did an incredible job on it. But the Soj is what they start off on last round. Spingar sticking with the May. If you can find an ice wall that finds someone out like Zach, again, I mean, you really need to get rid of that May here early on. But you have no hit scan. Like, that's the biggest thing. You're really banking on Spingar being there's the ice wall out onto Hero. Orbital Ray out here from Virtual, and Squeak gets rid of their counterpart. Bolo out, gonna be eaten up by Squeak. Zach will find one, but that might be the only thing that this squad gets. No, Seaborn actually finds Hyken out, and now Squeak just trying to stop Zach from getting back to the cart. They're gonna be able to do that right there. And this could be first point here for the side of Tanuki, doing exactly what they need to do. Nice ice wall out there by Spingar. No contest coming out. Spingar actually going to be able to find Cave on a huge kind of misplay by them. They will try to get back. Same thing with Triplet, but Triplet able to get out. 4.5 minutes here, basically kind of matching what Midori did last round here. Tanuki off to a great start. I mean, you only invested the orbital into that fight. Amp just came out there from Seaborn, but got basically eaten up. However, you are walking into a blizzard of Flux and a Beat here. Beat's ready for both sides. Flux is ready for both sides. You're not that far away from your own blizzard if you're Tanuki. Flux is out from each side. Looks like they both found one. Beats and Blizzard's out as well. Every ultimate on the field right now. The Blizzard, though, going to be able to freeze up Triple and no one else on the other side. So far, we're seeing 3 ultimates being thrown out for the cost, or for the value of truly nothing right there. Each team looking for it. Hero getting very low right now as Hyken trying to find what they can. Hero, though, will fall. Spin Guard going to be able to shut them down. They do have this overclock ready to go here. Zac going to be able to use that Ice Wall just to try to get themselves out of dodge. Nice Ice Wall coming out there from Spin Guard, forcing Zac in there. Immortality Field coming out early. And now Hero, you see that swap right there over to the Malga. It's not going to be enough to get them back to this, to get a contest here. But Hyken actually popping the overclock right here. They want to have a quick fight here, and they're going to be able to take it. Zac will find one. Triplet coming back in, going to be able to shut down one as well. Spin Guard, though, finds their counterpart here. And now Hero falling back out. Midori falling apart here by the seams. I mean, if you are Tanuki, 4.5 minutes on that time bank, 2.5 minutes more than what Midori got last round, and you don't even have to complete the map. You are in a really, really good spot. Ultimates. Let's look at them here. You're going to have Orbital and Flux ready here soon if you're Tanuki. You only are going to have the Bolo and the Amp Matrix for Midori here. And we saw what happened last time. We saw the Amp Matrix come out. Virtual used that Orbital Ray, and the Orbital Ray just found more value out. Zac trying to get in that backline and just be a little bit of a pest here. Bolo out. Going to be able to stick on someone there, but there's the Orbital Ray out. Spingar firing the value here early on. Hyken now trying to do what they can. Seaborn popping this Amp Matrix on the side, looking for Spingar, trying to heal up Hero as well, but now they're being pressured out. Hero gonna fall, and Tanuki taking all control of momentum here now. They are looking like they're gonna be able to win this map right now. Virtual Fall, the Blizzard coming out here from Spingar to seal the deal, and Tanuki, we got sent to a map 5 via a C9, and Tanuki, they got a new breath of life and ran away with it here. A much needed win for Tanuki, moving them up to 6-4 on the season. Midori will fall down to that same record as well. These are two really good teams. Let's not beat around the bush here. These two teams put on a hell of a series. Map 5, nothing more you could really ask for between these two, and they put on, like I said, a show here. But Tanuki coming out on top here in our final map of the night. And let's pull up the stats here now that we have it. I mean, you look across the board, pretty even with it. Hyken and Spingar talk about having themselves a map. This was one that they desperately needed. And I mean, you look at the deaths here. I mean, you're starting to look at it a little bit. I mean, pretty consistent at the tank. Almost even. Triplet falling the most here. The only player in the lobby that had 11 deaths. Did really hurt Midori at points here. But you look at the DPS lines. More deaths for the side of Tanuki than that of the side of Midori. But, I mean, Spingar and Hyken were just problems all map log. Hyken, when they were on that Tracer, just did a little bit too much. But then they showed the Soj, which we saw a little bit on the defensive side. But then we saw the majority of the attacking side. And, man, was it scary. Spingar going over to the Mei as well. Found value almost all around. Ice walls were forcing out Immortality Fields, ice blocks, any kind of get out of jail free card there for Midori, especially in that second round where Tanuki was pushing. I mean, Tanuki, once they got some momentum, they never let go, and that was just a good thing for them. One thing they desperately needed. And I mean, that's what we saw back on Watchpoint. When Tanuki had the control of momentum, they really looked like the better team. Midori, maps 1 and 3 were the dominant team in this series and looked incredible. Map 4, I really think there's a chance that C9 doesn't happen. Midori might have come out on top there, but that's always one of those what if kind of situations there. Whew. I mean, but this was a great series all around. Like I said, these two teams are going to be fighting for playoff spots come the end of the season, and you are not going to want to be sleeping on either of these ones here. But let's get this up here and now. Everyone, That was a great series all around from these two teams. Congratulations to Tanuki Tapire for winning this one in an exciting fashion. I mean, C9 to get to a map 5 there, and then you win it outright by having a great point 2 defense and even better point 3 defense. But everyone, that'll do it for me. I don't know if next time I'll be streaming. If I will be, I'll probably be over on Hunter Tane's channel back on Thursday when we cover more NA Masters tier action. I don't know when I'll be back on this channel covering any more FaceIt games, or maybe even streaming myself. But thank you so much if you did come out. Again, congratulations to Tanuki Tapire on winning an exciting Map 5 series. And hey, I'll see you around next time, y'all. This was a great one. Have a great night.